Season 3 of our Bisons franchise ended in a bang, unfortunately on the wrong side of said bang, where we lost 58-55 in a ridiculously crazy overtime playoff game against the Dragons. Of course, we're still kind of on the lower side of overalls and still developing, but our offensive weapons are looking really strong. And honestly, if we can get an offensive coordinator that can just unlock Jadarius Lewis's throw power a little bit more, maybe we actually have the offense at least that we need. Not going to just completely disregard the quarterback position. If there is a can't-miss player or a guy that looks really talented, that might be the route we go. Gotta say, Graves, all the chances he had, didn't look great. If there's a team that is willing to make a trade for him and it's going to be good compensation, I'm not ruling that out off the table either. But first things first, we do need to take a look at who wins the Super Bowl, take a look at all that good stuff, and of course, look for a new offensive coordinator, I think, as, once again, we're looking for the throw power. Looking at the Super Bowl, Mounties versus the Monarchs. Very interesting name drops there, but the Mounties have been a very, very high win-loss team all season, and they find themselves in the biggest game, going up against the Monarchs to potentially win the Super Bowl, and they do not. The Monarchs win. The top two seeds from each conference making the Super Bowl, and the Monarchs being the team to win it all. Not the most, interesting matchup between the two. Obviously, I would say a lot of teams would have loved to, or fans would have loved to see this Bisons team make it as their, almost not really an underdog anymore, but still kind of the underdog, if you will. I want to take a look at some of the retirements for the league as Cameron Hayward, that's a big name, retires. Same with Lane Johnson, Travis Kelce, Ryan Jensen, Levante David, Judon, Slay, Sheriff Poyer, Micah Hyde, Corey Lindsley. Some pretty big names here. Don't see any quarterbacks, though. I guess Jimmy Garoppolo is one of them, Andy Dalton, but none of the big, really good now quarterbacks. A lot of guys that once upon a time were decent, but some okay names there, but also, some names that I would have expected to see that we didn't. But looking at the season recap, you see that the Monarchs did win the Super Bowl, and Draymond Jones was the Super Bowl MVP. Not every day that you see a left end winning the MVP of the Super Bowl. Looking at the yearly awards, obviously, Purdy with MVP, Doug Peterson Coach of the Year, Breece Hall with the Offensive Player of the Year, Defensive Player of the Year was Aaron Donald, and then we won both Offensive and Defensive Rookie of the Year awards, which is awesome because those should lead to DevUps, which we're about to go check out right this instant. Hoping that maybe somebody would have snuck out like a superstar. Maybe Gleason goes to superstar. Looking at the DevUps, Mr. Morant is now an X Factor. He has first one free as his ability, and of course has to wait till 95 to get his ability slot. Realistically, Double Me is probably the biggest one that he should have for his abilities. At this point, we also might do some rerolls of some abilities just to mix it up a little bit and have some abilities that make more sense. Kenny Wise obviously went up in Dev, and unfortunately, Romeo Dobbs did not. But Chris Rodriguez also with first one free. Why did I think he went up in Dev, actually? Now that I'm thinking about it, what am I talking about? We're trying to get him to that last upgrade slot is what we're trying to do. We've been doing receiving back, but at the same time, if we're ever going to see 95, it's probably going to have to be elusive, no? Yeah, I think I'm going to just sold with that upgrade. But let's see what they give us anyways. 3 to catching is pretty good. Let's go back to elusive. Want to get to 95 if possible. We're going to try to do that. Speed upgrade. 1 to agility, 1 to ball carrier vision, 1 to break tackle, 1 to juke move, but speed. That is pretty spectacular. 94 now with the +3 speed boost from the coaching staff. Hopefully we don't lose that when we try to replace that position. Obviously Williams still injured, but as far as the offensive line goes, obviously Havenstein has regressed pretty hard. Definitely would be looking for hopefully a big name in the free agent group. Looking at the defensive upgrades in Dev, Mr. Gleason is now a superstar, going from normal to superstar Dev. Doesn't have an ability slot. Gotta admit, they're all pretty crap anyway, so it doesn't really do much for us. A lot of upgrades that we will have to get into. May even be the preseason video, as obviously there's going to be a lot of upgrades there as well. Trying to look around to see what other DevUps we may have had. Nick Jones, I believe, would have been another one. How many interceptions did he have again? DB of the... Wait, he won DB of the Year? How long ago was this? 8 interceptions obviously is going to do it. Actually, I do remember that now. I do remember. Not bad, though. As you can see, you got some really good players. Zaire Taylor going up to star dev as well. This is a really good dev up offseason where a bunch of our players did go up in dev. Once again, unfortunate, though, that Romeo Dobbs is not one of those players. Antonio Johnson, though, star dev, likely from the tackles. He had a couple of takeaways, but yeah, 117 tackles. Definitely going to be the one to do it. Some really good dev ups, like we said. A lot of guys that just joined the team and really hit the ground running. And looking forward, obviously there's some injury concerns. Shelton got injured, and then Quincy. Is he really a pass rushing type DT, even though he has those moves? The size is kind of limiting him. But honestly, the big concern going forward would realistically be the offensive line. I mean, I think we're in a really good spot team-wise. I think we've developed a pretty decent roster. It's just, can we add more to the offensive line and maybe bolster up the tackles enough to where we don't feel like we're getting sacked or pressured almost instantly? We scouted a lot of candidates, and the best fit for the offensive coordinator job is Gary Crawford going forward. Looking at those talent trees, we have 216 staff points, basically a full reset. Now, a bit of a drop-off as there is no speed boost, meaning Rodriguez is going to be his base 91 speed that he has. However, we do have the throw power upgrade and some accuracy upgrades as well, which is going to be really good. So we are going to be going on this far right side here to get those +3 to throw power upgrades, and then whatever extra we get might be thrown into accuracy, but this is a very costly upgrade. As you can see, we now have +3 to throw power, some decent accuracy in there as well, but I would like, even though it's not exactly, speed, I would like to go this route because we can get acceleration by the end. I'm trying to think if accuracy is more important than anything like this. Short route running would actually be really nice too. I'm going to see what we get. So 12, because it's 12, I'm going to go with short route for the receivers, the running back and receivers. Then the next one, I would say you pretty much have to go running back, right? Like juke move and change of direction means so much more for a running back than it does a wide receiver. And then as far as accuracy goes, I'm going to go medium accuracy. So we're down to pretty much 0 staff points again, but a brand new offensive coordinator who is going to help our pass game thrive. All right, negotiations. 17 players need contracts. I'm pretty sure we took care. Oh, we did not take care of all of them because Kuntz kept declining. Now, I do have to say, Kuntz did have a quote-unquote a down year. Not, a down year in the league, but a down year overall. He did have more yards, but he had a lot less touchdowns. His yards per carry was one of the best, but that was off of a couple of really big plays, which can you say that's a repeatable thing? I don't know. I think no matter what, though, you do try to keep him. How much? Wait, what were we offering him? So we offered him a 4-year 42. That's definitely on par. So we do one of these. I think we drop it down to a 2-year deal, 2-year 22. And he does accept, which is massive. It is massive. Weatherford, as much as I love him, I think it's time to move on. Same with John Michael Schmitz. Shorter really didn't even come in that much this year. Chase Brown wasn't even inspiring for the punt return game. Percy Butler never really saw the field. Zach Harrison stopped because when he did come in, he actually was pretty significant, especially in the run defense. I might lowball this a little bit. If he's willing to do a 2-year 8, I'm down. I don't know if that's even true, to be honest. Latu, obviously the speed is lacking. Enagbari really never came into the game too much. Rodney Harris, who even is Rodney Harris? Must have just been like a deeper depth guy. He's actually not bad with some speed there. You know what? I'm willing to pay the base what he's asking. Okay, I mean, I didn't even realize you played for us this last year. I'm just going to be honest with you. And then looking at everyone else, I do like Tariq Carpenter for the goal line. I don't know. And we did trade for Havenstein, but man, he did not Havenstein a good season. 8 sacks allowed, and it really felt worse than that. But honestly, we could have worse options, so I'm going to offer him that. And worst case scenario, we have a $9 million backup. That would be a great... And honestly, that's kind of a good case scenario, because that would mean that we have better in front of him. But let's head on to free agency where we have a ton of money, but do we have a ton of options? That's the big question. We have mainly offensive line that we need to replace. Looking at free agency, though, not liking our options already. Garrett Bowles is definitely like the guy when it comes to the offensive lineman options. But realistically, it is a very weak free agent group, as we kind of expected, unfortunately. So I don't know if we're going to really make too much of a splash here. I think we pretty much, based on how our offensive line played last year, by default need to offer Garrett Bowles something to join us, because he actually is, even though he's older, 34 years old, he's really good. He's really good, especially in the pass block department. I think we have pretty much no choice but to offer him, just because of how bad we were. Like, it was so bad that we have no choice but to try and improve somewhere. And we do have the highest offer, so we're definitely going to keep that on there. Shaq Mason was the other name. What is Shaq Mason looking like these days? Obviously up there in age as well. Yeah, I'm not really a huge fan. I'm going to be real with you. Not a huge fan. Osiris Torrance is a big fella. Probably not going to be very good at pass blocking either. 58 pass block finesse. That is pretty bad. That is pretty bad. Defensive ends, I mean, we could use some backups. I know I seen Khalil Mack. Khalil Mack might be an option for us, just to have some depth in case some injuries happen, especially if we're going to try to make it this year, our year. But, yeah, I mean, we're really just saving money when we don't need to, right? Like, we constantly save money, and then there never comes a time to spend it anyways. So, realistically, I think I might actually offer Khalil Mack some money here. Even if he wants to play backup, obviously no one else is offering him anyways. Khalil Mack is going to join this team, I think. I think we're going to pay Khalil Mack. The value is immense. For $5 million, I don't know if you get better value than that. And I think it is also time to start anew on the offensive or the off-ball position. Willie Gay might be like a one-year kind of backup or even like veteran presence for us. So I'm going to offer him as well. I think linebacker might actually be a position that I am going to be looking a little bit into. Didn't really expect to. I was like, you know what? We might... Ooh. There is some speed here. I want some speed. 2-year 9 for an insanely athletic linebacker. I mean, we're talking really athletic. But yeah, I kind of thought, you know, maybe we would just give it another go with Weatherford. But honestly, you know, the more you look at his ratings, it's not pretty. Definitely can do better, and that's what we're going to try to do. Maybe even draft a linebacker if that presents itself. Safety, I think we're fine, but once again, I always like to have as many options open as possible at question mark positions. As much as Antonio Johnson was pretty good, and he got that dev up, you can always improve. And that is one of our weaker positions. Skinner got some size here. Might actually want him. Although I can't because we only have freaking 5 active negotiation slots. But those are the guys I want to offer. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now hear me out. I'm not the best with math, but like 4 seems to be less than 5. Either way, let's offer. Skip it. So 3 of the names did go on. Let's see. And we got the 3 names we were looking at. So Garrett Bowles on a 1-year 15. Khalil Mack on a 1-year 5. And then Willie Gay on a 1-year 3.5, which the value is there. You know, the value there is great. It's fine. I'm not worried about it one bit. Papo joins the squad as well on a 2-year 9. Obviously, the speed is undeniable. Offering a couple of low ball offers in here for some other guys. And we get Calvin Austin on a 1-year $3 million deal, probably projecting to be our return specialist. Hines was also in the running for that return specialist job if he joined the squad, but it doesn't look like he's going to be joining anyways. And then Skinner, I kind of like the flexibility, the versatility to maybe play off-ball for us. Good change of direction. Obviously, the size is there. Don't know what that block shed looks like. 56. I've seen linebackers with worse. There's some potential there maybe to play linebacker, but at worst, it gives us more options even as the backup safety role, but not the strongest free agency group, so you're obviously not going to see the strongest signings from us, but overall, some impact players, specifically Garrett Bowles, but Willie Gay right now projecting to be the replacement for Mr. Weatherford, who was obviously pretty damn good for us for a while, but Willie Gay is going to potentially be that guy, if not Papau. Once again, more options, especially at that linebacker spot. A lot of speed. All right, before we look at some of the prospects on our board, I kind of want to see what the mock drafts were looking like on the way here and just in general, as the final mock drafts have arrived. Looking at us, they projected us to be pick 4 overall, which would have been likely an edge rusher. The first pick overall, also an edge rusher. Then QB with the Orbits. And then you look down the line a little bit. Don't care too much, about everyone else. Really just care mostly about us. Then we move on to mock draft number 2, where the Orbits drop down to number 3, and then our Bisons drop to number 10. Still Craig, though. I don't know how we grab a guy number 4 and then also 10. It looks like he's just constantly following us with our projections. Then you move on to the next one, which I assume is significantly lower for a draft pick. Orbits at number 17 taking a defensive tackle. And we moved all the way to 28, which is going to be a tight end, Mr. Christian Bowman. Kind of curious to see what he looks like. 6'3", 21 years old, a little bit of speed. Didn't pay attention too much to the tight ends. Maybe I need to actually take a quick look before we do anything. Then we move on to mock draft 4, where we could be all the way at like damn near 32. And nope, back at 28, which is Rob Griffith, the center. And then mock draft number 5, which should have us very late as well. Number 28 again, and Rob Griffith again. I do believe I actually have him on my list, on my board, but I don't know if that's going to be a guy I take in the first round. But looking at some of the players, quarterback was definitely, some decent talent. The first pick overall, specifically, assuming that's where they go, Spencer Woodson looks really good, 4'8", 40, but really strong, really accurate. And then the second quarterback, Tony Drew, looks really good too. A little bit of athleticism, not as good a throw power, but almost guaranteed to be star dev, I would say. We move on to our favorites, though. Going by position, we're going to start from, top to bottom, if you will. Running back, the highest guy we have is a 3-4, Devontae Griffin. Definitely a guy that's caught my eye. 6'1", 21 years old. Looks like a prototypical, very good power back. And he's got a little bit of speed. I kind of like what I see there. 3-4 projection. We'll see how the draft, kind of lines up. But I actually think that he would be pretty decently high on my board. Left side, speaking of decent, speed decent, 4.47, a little bit of power there as well. There's some pretty good power backs in this draft class. I think they're all power backs on our board at least, and even some of them into the UDFA range, which could easily still be hidden dev. I wouldn't bank on it, but at the same time, don't really need a running back, so will I be banking on one of them? Probably not. Ringer, obviously 23, but some A's and B's in there. If they're UDFA, I don't really care if they're even 24. I'll throw them on the list. Fullback, maybe if we go for one, I'll look later. But wide receiver right now, I really love our wide receiver room. We have the top 3 set. And, at worst, maybe we grab someone else later to fill out the squad. But overall, I'm really liking where our wide receivers are. But looking at some of the other names, Terrence Graham, 6'1", looks pretty good. Then you have a 6'6" guy, Zach Shed, or Sheed. I don't know what he wants to be preferred. 6'6", 209, but his key ratings look very mid at best. Speed, it's good enough, probably 90, 91 speed just because of the left side, and he's got a little bit of athleticism when it comes to, change of direction and all that. Very, very raw, but it's 3-4, that size. If he falls a little bit, maybe that's an option for us. Speed, Ben Malone, day 3, depends on how far he falls. And then Desmond Bryant, a little bit of height here, 6'4", decently fast. Definitely could provide some value in the jump ball game. Tight ends, I decided to look at some. We have Westbrook, who is 6'5", but he is a 1-2 projection, 4.59, very fast. If you needed a tight end and he was there at 28, I probably would take him. Problem is, don't really need a tight end. Max Marshall, another really good tight end anyways, could probably take him later, 3-4. Left tackle, none. All of them looked very bad. Left guard, Mr. James Peralta. Not 100% known about him because we use our scouting on other players, but James Peralta looks good enough to probably have that chance at being hidden. Same with Royster. You don't have to put as high of a draft pick projection on him. Center, obviously they had Griffith on their list. I put Daniel Miles on there because you never know how far they're going to fall. 23 years old, but this is likely going to be our last season anyway, so if I can get a guy that I think is really good right now, doesn't necessarily matter if they're on the older side. Looking at the other center, Rob Henley, 3-4 projection. Strength is obviously a little bit lower for these centers, but there's some pretty good players, especially this Adrian Hutchinson guy, who is a day 3. Might be a little gem for us. Right guard now, I scouted further for Cody Carr. Looks pretty strong. A awareness, A impact, B pass block, A to B run block. Very big with 40 reps. Do you maybe see him as potentially a superstar dev? That's what I think. The problem is you have some other really good players here, like Michael Urban, once again 23, but a lot of A's and a B. I really like the A's and a B. Then you look at right tackle, which we have none of. Edge, while Jackson should be fine, he really hasn't played well, so I definitely kept my options open for edge rusher. So Wilcox makes the list for now. Knox, a finesse move, unlikely to be there at 28, but with a finesse, a different style, the power move really not working for us at the edge spot. Maybe that's an option. Right end, Kai Gary, insanely strong. He's a 2-3. Definitely could play DT. Otis Lindsey, 6'6", 277, 21 years old. Little on the lighter side, but a really good power move. Great tackle, decent strength. Bunch of DTs here. I don't want to go too far into them because realistically, I think late second is where we'd be going if we're going to go defensive tackle. Luke Blade scouted him a little bit further, and he looks great. Really strong, really fast. A power move. Then you have Holmes, who I believe is actually 20 years old, which I'm not saying that he's guaranteed to be hidden, but 20 years old tells me he's a special type of player. And you also have Haskins, who is also really good with finesse, super fast, super strong. Left out, we have some pass rushers. Didn't scout them fully, but I put them on my list just because there was some ratings in there that I liked. A finesse move, which is obviously a really nice rating to have. Don't know much about Bassie, but he's a good block shedding guy. And then Werner. If I felt like these guys are guys I would want to go with, I probably would have scouted them further. But you just got to kind of use some common sense. You assume if he's an A to C finesse, probably A or B finesse is what his actual ratings are. And then you look at all these linebackers, they are all very fast. So if we're going to go linebacker, there are options there. Right out, not really. Corner. This is a draft for really good corners. The problem is we already have really good corners, so we don't need them. I put them on the list because the value is there, and maybe if we want to go safety, backup safety, could take one of them and play them at safety. Which, speaking of safety, I actually like some of the late second rounders again. Ahmad Jackson, who's 5'9", but really good man coverage, really good zone coverage. And then Richmond, who's 5'11". Don't know the zone coverage, but it's at least a C with a B man coverage. Not the fastest, but he is on the taller side compared to Jackson. So if we're going to go safety, it's late second to three, second to third round. I think that might be the route. Springs, I think, might be the best pure, deep cover safety. So maybe he would be an option too. And then obviously you also have Ross Parks, who looks pretty good, 21 years old, 6'2". I like the speed. I don't have a game plan. I honestly think because we have most of our positions set outside of securing a new defensive tackle, because I'm not sure if I really like the way Quincy played for us last year and his style of being like a nose tackle type, eating up the double team. I think DT is the only position we absolutely have to grab this offseason. Outside of that, we already have kind of the roster from last year. We can also trade Forbes perhaps to maybe trade up or get an extra draft pick, whatever it might be. And then obviously we do have that option of potentially doing the same with Graves. But here it is. Let's see what we're looking at. The Steamers pick 1 overall. This is actually a pretty big pick because I don't know if they need quarterback as much as they should probably take one. Spencer Woodson looks like a can't miss, and if I was them, I would take him as they need something to change that franchise around. But let's see it. They do already have a 73 overall quarterback who is young, but maybe they still replace him anyways. And they do not. Tracy Frazier was a pretty good corner, I will say, but pick 1 overall for a corner seems crazy as the Nighthawks luck into Spencer Woodson. The Bulls going to be going with right tackle. Huskies with an outside linebacker. Tigers going to be taking a right tackle themselves. Shamrocks now on the board. Tony Drew, they get a quarterback, somehow falls all the way to 6. When you look at this quarterback room, there was really only 2 guys that were clear-cut first-rounders, so I'm surprised no one made a move to get one. Armadillos at 7 end up taking Earl Green. Thunderbirds at 8 take Demarius Johnson. Number 9, the Dreadnoughts taking Ben Ward. The Sentinels at 10 drafting Matt Weathers. The Desperados at 11 taking left tackle Gerald Albert. The DT, Larry Leach, goes very high over to the Golden Eagles, who is definitely on my board. The Black Knights now taking Sermons. The Voyagers taking Cassius Knox. Looking at the Condors now at 15, Ty Golson. The Aviators, Charles, I'm not even going to say the last name. I don't want to be baited. I don't want there to be a soundboard in the future. I'm not saying it. Harvey Waters to the Orbits. That's a outside linebacker, so that's obviously 1-to-1 our rivals, if you will. Myers, then Craig. We're kind of getting closer to our pick, so let's make sure that we're not going to lose out on anyone. Or if there's a player that we didn't expect to be here this late, maybe make a trade up for a player we didn't even really want or need. Bowman, 21 years old, 6'3". The speed is there and the ratings are there, but just don't really need a tight end. And honestly, at 6'3", I'll take my chances with my tall tight end anyways. Center's there, obviously, but Even though it says we need a center, we actually do have extras on the offensive line. We could definitely move some players around as is. 1 to 2, is there any can't miss? Like edge, like I said, but I just don't feel comfortable taking a new edge rusher. Like, as much as I don't really like the way Cordell Jackson has like played so far, his ratings are just unreplaceable. I feel like you're just wasting him. You're just wasting a draft pick on top of it if you replace him. Tackle, then you have corner Pritchard. Looks great. Great pick by the Snowhawks. Macklin to the Wizards. Antlers end up with Copeland, another guy on our board. The Caps taking Winston. The Elks taking Daniel Miles. Nice steal for them at center. And then the next pick will be us after the Oilers select, which is Briggs. A lot of our players are still absolutely there. Some of the players that we didn't even expect to be there are still there. Like that tight end is a great pick if we needed one. What about Trayvon Hyde? Wow, that guy sucks. I mean, he might be good, but he is not fast. Definitely debating on a trade down here. I do like the potential depth of just taking a pass rusher and, like, I don't know, using them as a backup, or maybe they find their way as a starter, because once again, as much as I feel like it's a waste to replace Cordell, he also has played pretty poorly. I can't lie. Werner, I think, was the better of the two pass rushers. He's also 21 years old. Don't know his finesse. I think I am going to be trading to pick 10 in the second round. And I'm a little surprised by this. We ended up trading pick 28 for 39 and 71. Obviously, we gave up that 5th round in the future. I thought that was immense value for us. I absolutely love that trade for us. The Armadillos, what did they trade up for? They did trade up for Hyde. Didn't like him personally. Thought he was a little bit slower. But the high grade was there. So if he is actually good, they might have made a pretty big trade-up steal. We now pick at 7 in the second round. Still debating if I want to select here. We still have the other pass rushers still there. Any other 1 to 2s? Just kind of like glancing over. Werner, Bassie, Benson, Moats. Got a couple of safeties still there. Like I said, I think Springs is the best pure safety, but I also do like Ross Parks. The size and the speed combo is definitely intriguing. Tight end Sheldon Westbrook is still there, which is, the value is crazy. This could be a little bit of a reach, but I think with the 40 bench press rep and size of Cody Carr, I think we're taking a chance at a potential generational type with superstar dev. And that is, I'm willing to, that's a player I'm willing to take a chance on. And he is hidden. 92 strength, 72 speed, 79 excel. Even if he's not very good, we landed a hidden lineman. And we know that our offensive line is secure for this upcoming season minimum. And even then, I thought maybe we had the starting 5 already. But realistically, now it does give us options. We didn't want to lose Havenstein because we were worried that we would be stuck with someone way worse. But that is gone now. Now we have options. Now we're not stuck with anyone. We can move things around. And if somebody gets injured, we have a replacement for that. I don't hate it. We obviously have an extra 3rd round, which we had from last year. So we now have 3 3rd round picks, I believe. Springs is there. And as much as I don't even know if we need a safety, I think the depth would be nice to have. Once again, wow, Westbrook all the way there to the Blues is really good value. But realistically, I mean, we don't really have any other needs other than DT, which we can still land. Lindsey goes. What was the other guy? Was the other guy still there? If the other guy's still there, I might take him. I can't really think of his name right now. Kai Gary. Was he not A block shed? I thought he was A. B, 40 bench press reps, A tackle play. Yeah, I'm going to trade up for him. There's some, really good DT options. Even, that, what is it called? The 20-year-old, but he looks a little more raw. This Gary guy, I get he doesn't have an A in power or block shed, but I like the other ratings. I think the other ratings means that he's probably going to be a pretty good overall. So let's try to trade with the Antlers in here and see if we can land ourselves at least, hopefully, a hidden dev DT. I don't know if he's going to be like the GOAT, but I don't really want to get rid of anything this year. 6 next year. Okay, I guess it might be a 6 this year. 182 this year. I don't even know. I might have to give up that 6 next year as well. Oof. Any other players you guys want? Quarterback. David Fitzsimmons. I mean, Fitzsimmons I actually really like. I think this is a good trade for both sides. Boom. My boy Fitzsimmons has been sacrificed, unfortunately. But yeah, let's go with an ET type. 40 reps. I mean, 2 40 reps draft picks, I think, is pretty cool to me. Kai Gary, 6'3", 299. Let's see what some of those other ratings. Speed's not the greatest. Excel's pretty good. Agility's not good. Strength elite. Kai Gary, welcome to the team. And another hidden 92 strength. So 40 reps is 92 strength, no matter what the position, apparently. Although I feel like if you had a wide receiver or a quarterback or a running back with that, they would definitely give him higher, because like, what, 40 reps? We've seen it for DTs and O-line, but haven't really seen it for those positions. What was the other position? Oh, yeah, we were looking at safety. Still options, because they're all kind of still here. I think I'd be willing to take Jackson, Richmond, or Park. So hopefully Jackson goes first, and then we're down to just the last two. Jackson does go to the Antlers. Sweet. So they end up trading with us, basically, to end up taking one of our players later. So hopefully the safeties... Ooh, I was about to say, it would maybe hopefully delay the safety run. But we see now at 31 in this round that we will need to trade up if we want the safety, which I think the value is probably there. We have extra third-round picks still. Might have to trade up again, though. I'm not really liking the fact that I'm having to move, this many extra later-round picks in each of the years, but overall, I think we're landing some pretty good players, and that's really the main goal, is landing starters. Even if you have to lose a 5th or a 6th or a 7th, that's fine, as we are hopefully going to be landing a really solid safety. Let's see what we got. Next pick is 22, though, which kind of sucks, so I suspect another trade-up, honestly. But let's take a look at, where is my man's Ross Parks? Probably the guy I was eyeing up the most. A hit power, B zone coverage, 6'2", 21 years old, 4.39 40, excels a little iffy. He looks like he's got good jump. He looks like a good player. Ross Parks might be normal, but I'm hoping not. Yeah, I kind of felt like there was a chance at normal, but any of the safeties could have been. A safety is a really tough position to draft and develop, I feel. And we're going to keep our third-round picks, but we're going to move into this third round from a 4th 2 years from now, using Forbes, the 23-year-old star dev corner. Forbes has played pretty well for us, but he has made a couple of mistakes, and more importantly, we just have so much depth at that cornerback position that realistically, I just don't think we need him anymore. Obviously, injuries would really suck, but outside of injury, there really isn't a huge need for him. The choice here is going to be Mr. Alphonso Bailey, who could still fight for the number 1 starting job because he looks like an absolute goon athletically. And for a while, I didn't even think I really wanted him, but then I looked at the coverage rating, I looked at the speed, and yeah, I want him. Alphonso Bailey. Normal dev, but really athletic. 91 speed, 90 excel, 78 change of direction, 82 jump. I think this is a guy that's going to absolutely fight for the starting job. At this point, though, I'm not really sure what I want to do. There's some okay wide receivers there. I seen a 1-2 that was still there. Keith Davis, not super promising, 6'1", 22 years old. Then we also had another tall wide receiver in Mike Gibson. I do like the release and catch in traffic, but the regular catch is bad. He's decently athletic. He's got good spec catch, but his regular catch is an F. I don't necessarily want to trade up, but at the same time, I don't really have anything else going for us and really needs going forward. So I kind of might. I think it might be worth trading. I think we're going to trade up one more time. One final trade up, I think. And it might require an actual player trade, which is... We trade 86 and Elijah Hicks to move up 7 spots. I think that's absolutely fair. Elijah is not the youngest guy anymore, 26, but he is star dev, so he definitely is worth at least like a 5th round, or maybe not even, like a 6th round pick, I think would probably be what he'd be worth there, and that's what we traded him for. Mike Gibson, some potentials there. Normal dev, was really hoping to just see a sneaky little hidden dev, but 91 speed, 6'4" wide receiver. We'll see if we can turn him into anything. Pick 28. Once again, I'm not going to trade up anymore. We've done enough of that. Either trade down or take our final player here is going to be the move. Offensive lineman, got some linebackers. Running back Devontae Griffin is still there. Was he a 4.44, right? I'm taking him. Devontae Griffin. Yeah, hidden dev. He looked pretty good. He was worth it, I think. No other draft picks, though, so definitely lacking on the depth, but that's fine. I think we've drafted all the positions we ever needed, and even then, a lot of the guys are backups. I so desperately want to see their devs, but obviously since this is the franchise we're actually playing, we're not going to be doing that. Let's take a look at the team's overalls, though, and that right guard was really good. 78 overall. Automatic starter, in my opinion. Kai Gary is going to be a defensive tackle for us, but let's, you know what, because it's, he's an offensive lineman. Do I really want to? I don't think that's superstar, though. Like, he could be, but that's not like a generational player by any means, I don't think. Don't even know what position we're going to play him at. He's 6'6", 335. He can really play anywhere, but definitely does fit the best as a pure guard. I kind of feel like because left guard is a really big position for us, even though Williams is good for us, I'm going to play him in left guard. I'm going to check the depth. I don't care. Yeah, I figured he was going to be superstar. You know, I figured. So I went to look just because I really believed he was going to be. I'm not going to check the dev of Gary. I'm just putting him at DT. I want to see what that overall, those ratings look like. 76 overall at DT. I think there's a good I think there's a good chance that he is just going to be our DT2 going into the season, but obviously with preseason, you never know what's going to happen. Then Ross Parks, obviously normal dev, but 75 overall. Very good, great zone. Hit power, it's A technically, but 84 is still kind of low for my liking. He's a good backup. He's a good depth piece for safety. And then we have Bailey, going to be given a chance to start at that outside linebacker spot. Great zone coverage, okay man coverage. 74 catch is really good for a linebacker. Injury concerns with, 81 injury, 79 toughness, decent enough hit power. Obviously insanely athletic. He'll be playing one of the outside linebacker spots. Will he start? I don't know. Gibson was picked. It was a third-round pick after all, wasn't it? Yeah. Good release. Spec, catching traffic, both really good. Route running's a little iffy, though. No aggressive catch at 6'4" was painful. Not a good pick, let's just be honest. Not a good pick. And then Griffin, didn't even need a running back, but I felt like the value was there, so I took him. Looks great. He's really balanced. Change direction's not that good, but Devontae Griffin, backup running back, might even be our number 2 this season. I don't know, because obviously I do like Beatty quite a bit. And then looking at other options, Tracy Frazier, hidden development trait from the Steamers, pretty damn high overall, better zone than man, very fast though, going to be a problem for us going forward. And then Woodson, quarterback they could have went with, Spencer Woodson, very accurate, just enough speed to scramble if you needed to, throw power 92, definitely can zip the ball in there. And then we look at the dev, superstar dev, probably should have grabbed him, so I think Jones might be normal for them. And as far as the safeties we could have had, we obviously were going to always wait. But Jackson, 5'19", heavy, 223. Blockshed's not very good, though. Hidden development trait. Let's take a look at what that dev is. It's got to be like Superstar Plus for me to, for me to want him more than our guy that we drafted, I would have needed to see Superstar, I think. Star dev doesn't really do a whole lot for me. All it takes is one little dev up. That was the third round. We wanted to go to the second round. And then we look at Mr. Richmond, 74 overall. Also hidden, 5'11", 21 years old. Better man than zone. Hit power's not the best. Not that fast either. And obviously 3 inches shorter than the guy that we took. Once again, it's got to be Superstar Plus. And he's not. So I'm kind of happy. And that one tight end went all the way to 18 to the Blues. Sheldon Westbrook, 6'5", hidden dev. Pretty damn athletic. Curious to see the dev while we're here. Dev is, of course, Superstar. Why wouldn't he be? Nice. Then we move on to the third round, which we had the tight end. Where was the tight end? He must have been pretty high in the third round. Or was he a second rounder? Is my vision fading me? I thought he was a 3 to 4. Or did he go like really early in... I genuinely don't know where this tight end is. Did I really just pass him up a billion times? Maybe he went in the 4th round, actually. I didn't really look too good after we took that. Yeah, he did go in the 4th round. 74 overall, Max Marshall, hidden dev. A little bit of a sell by us, especially since we didn't even need running back that much. He's like insane injury protect. Please be no higher than star. Please. Thank you. Okay. But yeah, pretty good offseason, especially since we bolstered up that offensive line. We ended up with an 80-plus overall left tackle. We ended up with an 80-plus, 78-plus superstar lineman. Things are looking pretty good for this offensive line. That was one of our biggest needs, and we absolutely took care of that. Zach Charbonnet never got offered, unfortunately. Any positions that could really help us? Maybe some... Oh, yeah, we got edge with a Khalil Mack. Some pretty big additions to the team. Now, I will say it kind of sucks that we lost the speed boost for our running backs, but gaining the throw power and the accuracy to our quarterback, as Jadarius Lewis now is going to be 91 throw power with those boosts, which is huge. Look at his accuracy. He looks good. He looks like, a little bit of a slower version of C.J. Stroud. This could be a huge season for him. I really like the OC change. Here is the projected lineup to start preseason, and as of now, how the team would potentially look going into week 1 of the regular season. We obviously have a lot of high dev players. Definitely need to add a little bit of depth. We'll probably add an extra tight end, a couple of extra linemen, a couple extra wide receivers. But as far as how, the starters all the way down look, and probably how they will be, this is what we're looking at. Obviously, we have some upgrade points. We'll get into those in a moment. But we obviously have some training camp stuff that we need to do. Riley, because of how athletically gifted he is the projected starter right now. 94 speed at 6'2" is ridiculous. And obviously right now, he is expected to be the starter. And obviously, Khalil Mack being on the team now, even though he's a backup, did pay for Walton James's number, so he will now be wearing number 54, whereas he was wearing number 52 last season. But that's A-okay. Everything looks pretty damn good. Let's get into the training camp, where hopefully maybe we get some actual dev-up upgrades for once. Mr. Jadarius Lewis, now with 91 throw power, because of the coach. Going to be trying to get some dev-ups here if possible through the training camp. Obviously, this one's not super hard. It used to be like the one I hated the most. But now I kind of, I actually enjoy it. We can hit that one too. Bop! No one's catching these things. I don't know what's going on. There's no reaction time, but should be able to get gold pretty easily. This is one we actually do quite often. This is going to be elite timing. Just you wait. Watch this. Watch this elite timing. Elite! This is actually pretty good. Did we get it? Oh, how did it go over? 2 tries. I mean, as long as we get 1 in. Were we supposed to go for B on this one? I don't know. It's a little deep as well. Timing is elite. That's a GG. Gold, easy clap. Second try. First one was, the things happen. See on the run. Bop! Perfect throw. He didn't react to it, though. Dev up, maybe. We, of course, automatically get an upgrade point, which is great. Don't know how Graves is going to fare with... I don't know why I expected there only to be one thing. I thought we actually got that dev up. I don't know how Graves is going to fare with this pass skeleton, but we'll see. We'll obviously see. The squad is out. And maybe we should have went to Walt James' side. Oh, I thought he was going to score. What a take. He took a freaking hit there. And that's dropped. This is going to be challenging. I don't even want to tell you the amount of times it took us to get this gold. Probably like 5. It's actually not that bad. But still, 5 is still a lot. You can see, look at the weight for Romeo Doubs down the field. Kind of struggling. And then once you get the groove, things happen, That's a dot. Oh, that was so close. Gotta say, though, Graves in previous, off-season kind of training stuff, really inaccurate. But this one... he pretty much hit every throw with perfect accuracy, which I'm impressed by. As far as the rushing attack goes, as much as, Rodriguez doesn't need the training, you get a +1 to your skill points automatically. And obviously you get a little bit of XP as well. So, free upgrade points when you're this overall. Jeez, the speed of our linebackers this year is definitely massive. Of course, we also lost a little bit of speed with our running back position, but overall should be fine. I think the trade-off of speed at running back for throw power at quarterback is definitely worth it, especially when that's really our biggest issue with Jadarius. But I do got to say, Rodriguez definitely does feel slower. There's no doubt about it. Our run game was, our biggest aspect last year. What a play. Was definitely our biggest aspect last year for the offense, so hopefully it doesn't kill that, because if it does, our offense could take a step back rather than a step forward, but... like I said, the throw power, it could also be, what we're hoping, and that's monumentous. And while it wasn't perfect, we did end up getting the gold in was that the first try? I don't even know. But either way, really early on. So the speed, we felt like we got caught up a little bit more than normal, but we still were able to make the plays, and that's all that matters. Now with the wide receiver battle, I don't know who I want this to be. I think this is easier. So I'm going to go with the guy that's quote-unquote less skilled than Romeo Doubs. But realistically, I mean, it shouldn't be a problem. We have pretty good corners, but these receivers are really good route runners. As expected, this is the easiest one you could do. So we get the gold first try. Wait last second. Try to get as deep as possible. Just have a little bit of fun there. And please give Romeo Doubs a dev up. That would be a massive occurrence. Just 1 dev up. That's all I ask is 1. Okay. And look at Morant off the line. I mean, that's just unfair. He's just too unfair. Riley Moss can't handle this. I mean, he's too quick. Look at the little spins. I mean, he can't keep up. He can't keep up. This should be a freebie. As long as the throw's not too bad. Boom. Double zone as well. And we catch him in the spin cycle again. I mean, it's about as easy as you're going to get. And once again, it's not the cleanest routes, but it's kind of showing off the athleticism, the excel through the route, which is, I mean, just separating so easily. Oh, he's got us. No, he doesn't. Little spinneroony. Believe it or not, for this one, you maybe thought I would go with like Kai Gary or something, but no, I'm actually going to go with Cordale Jackson. The higher the overall, the better it is, because obviously it takes more XP to upgrade those players in general. But Jackson does need work anyways. So, I mean, it's very fitting that he would be the guy that, you know, gets this opportunity, because he really just needs more work. Okay, we're kind of getting bullied. This ain't good. Obviously, you do get a lot of time with this one. Oh, he's like just dead. He's out of energy. And we got guys chasing us down. Maybe that's a good sign. Maybe the offensive line is ready to go this year. Let's try to spin move. Oh, nice double spin. Get out of my way. I don't even know if they gave me the double on that. You're cheating. I can't do this. Boom. He does got a decent bull rush, though. Problem is he doesn't really use it that much. That's usually what I do if I'm using him. Bull rush. Oh, look at the spin. We didn't have those stupid things in the way, which I'm not really even sure. I get they don't want you to like just run around them, but I'm not really sure what those represent in an NFL like play scenario. Apparently they represent tornadoes. It is crazy how challenging this one is, though. Like, it is actually insane. Because you can't upright tackle him, like, even if you have, like, prime Ray Lewis. So you got to go really low and get him behind the line. It's tough. And he can kind of go where he wants a lot of the times. Like, you just cut back and you lose your multiplier if he gains any yards. Like that. Like, can we... I would have loved to chase him. The half of the fun for it lately, though, is I'm going for upright hit sticks, and I'm bottling it, but when I'm not, some of the hit sticks I'm seeing are brutal. I want to see a freebie. Or just let him go. Grab him! Ugh. Look at Riley catch up, though. I don't know if he was celebrating there, but I get it. Riley is really fast, but oh, look at that hit. You know, maybe the loss of speed might actually play a bigger factor than we thought. Just maybe. And I'm not happy about it. We're cooking. I'm going to jinx it, but one more. Nice! We got it. There you go. I mean, with 20 seconds in as well. But I kind of want to see how high of a score I can get. Like, has anyone ever gotten to 100K on this? Wow, we forced the fumble even. 10,000 points for forcing the fumble. Oh, nice hit. Damn, this is by far the highest I've ever had. We're out here. On our par for 100,000. And I went... See, the thing is, you have to go low early. And even then, they give you that animation every once in a while. It's crazy. That, like, look. I'm not hitting A or anything like that. I'm trying to hit him with down on the D-pad. I'm going to see what X does. I think X is going to be, like, similar. Oh, maybe X is the move. Let's see. Let's keep going. Is it actually really easy and I'm just dumb? Like, is X the way to do this? Let's see. Okay, okay. One of the more fun ones. Although I just got burned, unfortunately. Oh, Taylor getting burned by Wise, though, which obviously leads to what should have been a pick. Getting burned off the line. You can't really press. You just get destroyed. Nice hits. Beautiful play. Locked him up, and he still gets, like, the benefit of the doubt for some reason. He better start doing that in the regular season. Because that's crazy. You gotta, like, be in perfect position because the AI always wins it. And that will be gold. Now on to a fun one because of how challenging it is. But Riley Moss. Perfect DB. Look at the perfect DBing. Riley Moss will get an extra ability slot if he gets it. Oh, it's so difficult. Because he is at 84 overall, and you get a full upgrade point if you get it, so 85 overall. I mean, it's so challenging! It's a lot of guessing. Unless you go crazy with the press. Alright, I guess we just got burned. And they... Oh my god, I retire. It's so challenging. Please! Oh my! But they do give you a bonus for, like, actually stopping the touchdown. Yeah, I mean, it's just not going to happen. You got to get 2 picks in a row, and it's just not going to... I'm just going to allow Silver. It's way too challenging. Like, if he can adjust to that... I know he didn't catch it. But if he can adjust to a ball like that, how do you actually defend it? And I swatted, didn't give it to me. That's fine with me. Silver. I'm down. I didn't give it that many tries like I normally would, but I'm not that persistent these days. I'm getting older. We get the skill point, you lose a slight bit of XP. What was the difference, actually? 500 XP? Okay, so maybe I don't really care as much. Kicker, punter, I mean, I'm going to give it my all, but, you know, we'll see what happens. On my first try, I got that point. I mean, I'm Mr. Just accept it, do whatever happens, you know. We're not getting these dev ups anyways from these freaking scenarios, so it is what it is. Do you get a skill point no matter what? Oh, so you at least have to get silver. So as long as you get silver, who cares? Honestly, especially with a 28-year-old punter. As we get silver, I'm chilling. But let us cook first try, actually, on the punt one. I've never had that happen. Never had that happen. First try. Not going to mean anything, but hey, I'm happy about it. And for our final act of the night, we are going to be going with all the upgrades we have, which should be a lot. And I mean a lot. There is a lot. I mean, look at all of this. There's a million players. It's actually less than I thought, to be fair. But let me do all the boring ones, like offensive lineman, and then it'll be all the fun ones afterwards. All right, Anchorage is one of those players. We're going to be needing probably medium accuracy. I'm going to go field general. I never go field general for our QBs. Maybe this is the goated one. I mean... I'm just saying. Okay, I'm just saying. That's not bad. 95 throw power as well. Maybe that's the reason why he looks so good in the practices. Maybe it actually means a ton to just have throw power, which we'll hopefully see this year with Jadarius, assuming he's the guy that wins the job, which I can't see a universe where he doesn't. I really just can't. Riley Moss, man-to-man. Obviously, you can get that with slot, which is exactly what we're going to do. I don't know who he's looking at. You're kind of looking the wrong way, buddy. 2 to press, 2 to man coverage. What's that ability? He gets outside shade. Actually, not a bad ability at all. I mean, other than inside shade, it's kind of the best he could kind of get at that point. Nick Jones, he has 2 upgrade points himself. We'll go with slot, and then we're going to go with zone. Just wanted to get that 80 overall, which was pretty much guaranteed in fairness. And then we go to zone, because he is kind of lacking in zone a little bit. It sucks that we lost Forbes through a trade, but realistically, I mean, look at Nick Jones. He's a backup. Like, he should be a starter. He's so good. What is his ability? Unfakeable. Could have gotten, like, on the ball or something. Nothing really too spectacular at that low of an overall. Anyways, though, Zaire Taylor, apparently, and now an 88 overall, or about to be, 98 speed as well, which is kind of crazy. Zone coverage, +2. Other upgrade. He's actually not going to go up at all because we went with zone upgrades, but I mean, that is what he's missing. He's now 82 zone. I don't hate the upgrades at all, even though it didn't get into an 86. Whatever, who cares? Gleason, 77 overall, superstar. Gets 2 to finesse move, which now puts him at 86. Going to keep going for that. I don't care what his block shit is. I need my mans in the 90s. And he's not going to get much closer on that extra upgrade. Kenny Wise goes up to star, but he is still very low of a rating. I would love to get his release to 70, so I'm going to go with physical. It's kind of the best way to do that. Gets 2 to release, 1 more of those, and he would easily be 70-plus release, which would be awesome. And exactly what he gets, plus a speed upgrade on top of it. Physical is just a really good upgrade. It really is good. Let's go Cam Jones now. I'm kind of just picking and choosing however I want. Not really any method to this madness. Any speed for Cam? Damn, I really would have loved that because he's really good. It's just his speed is like just barely starting caliber speed at this point. Cordell Jackson goes to power move, 87 overall. He is really strong, but he just hasn't played that well. 2 to power move now puts him at 93. Like, he should be so hard to block. I'm not even sure. Romeo Dobbs, I think he can still get released with deep threat, and he's kind of missing the medium and deep range, which he gets 2 to deep route, and I mean that's kind of one of the bigger things he needed, I guess. Medium and deep is what we're looking for, though. Joe Morant, his release obviously amazing, so we don't really need to go that route. What's the best way to get medium? Is it just slot upgrades? Because Playmaker sure as hell ain't it. Let's go slot. We tried the deep threat, wasn't the best. Slot, one a medium, one a short. I mean, I need the medium route and deep route, but not a huge fan of that upgrade. And we're actually going to go with elusive back for Rodriguez, as he could get to 95 overall before the season's over, which would give him another upgrade point. 2 to spin move, 1 to change the direction. His spin move's now higher than his juke move, so spin cycle was ever going to be good. That's the time to do it. And then Jadarius Lewis, I mean, Field General got us to throw power for grades. I'm just going to go with it. Didn't get it here, but that's still a really good upgrade. 1 to short, 1 to medium, and then the big one, 2 to under pressure, which now puts him at 93 throw under pressure. He looks like a really good quarterback. Is this the year? I don't know. I do worry about that injury and toughness, but we now know what the team looks like going into preseason. With their upgrades completed, we've been holding those for a long time, so glad to see those are finally out of the way, as we now will face the Sentinels, the Golden Eagles, and what even team is? I can't even see that logo. Is that it's not the Nighthawks. Did they relocate again? What was the... I don't even know. But yeah, here's the squad going into preseason, which will be next episode, probably on Monday. If you guys enjoyed this one, though, maybe leave a like, subscribe if you're new. I do appreciate your continued support, though. If you are not new, maybe follow me on Twitter, Jeromepkr, second channel PKR Plays for non-Madden content. And there should be a rebuild tomorrow. That's about it. Thanks for watching. Hope you guys come back for next video. But until next video...